So you might get a problem like this. And what you want to do is you actually want to move all the constants to the other side, and you want to move all the variables to one side. Okay? So you want to move all the constants, or all the numbers without variables, to the other side, and you want to move all the variables to one side. So we can't just shift things around. So in order to move the 6, we need to subtract 6 on both sides. And in order to move the 14x, we would go ahead and subtract 14x from both sides. Okay, you just got to make sure that when you're combining these, we cannot combine negative 14x and x squared. Again, they are different terms, so we cannot combine them. So this equals x squared minus 14x. And I'm going to leave a space here, plus, I'm going to just leave a space here, equals negative 6. Equals negative 6. Okay, so this is the part where we would complete the square just like what we did before. So to complete the square here, this would be b divided by 2 times a squared. So in this case, when the coefficient is equal to 1, this is an easier problem because then all you're doing is dividing by 2. Okay. So in this case, we're going to take b divided by 2a squared, and I'm just going to go ahead and rewrite it, x squared minus 14x plus 14 divided by 2 times 1. And again, I'm just showing you what's happening here. And the thing is that if we add it to this side, again, now this is an equation, we also have to add it to the right-hand side. So we also have to add it to the right-hand side to balance the equation. Okay. So we get x squared minus 14x plus 7 squared, and you can skip these steps if you already know how to do this. Okay. So what I've done is I have finished completing the square, right? But now I need to solve this, so I need to create this, move this back into its factor. So because I know that this is a perfect square, I know it's going to be x minus b over 2a squared equals, and this would be 43. So b divided by 2a, that's just negative 14. All right, sorry, this should be plus. So this should be negative 14 divided by 2 times 1, which is just, we saw that already, which is right here, which is the 7, right? We did b divided by 2a already, so we know that this is going to be our factor here. Oh, sorry, there's a mistake here. So there should be negative 14. There should be negative 14, negative 7. But then when you square it, it becomes positive. And that's why you get positive 49. So this should be x minus 7 squared equals 43. So at this point, this is like what we just did. You would square root both sides. Again, if you square root both sides, this becomes plus or minus. So this becomes plus or minus square root of 43. There is no factors to that. I believe it's a prime number. And you get x minus 7. So what happens when you square root both sides, and the reason we square root both sides is to get rid of the square. Okay. So the reason that we square root both sides is to get rid of the square right here. And you can see once we square root both sides, we drop the square from the top. Okay. Our last step here is to add 7 to both sides. We get x is equal to 7 plus or minus the square root of 43. So something just to note is that for completing the square and also for quadratic formula, you will probably get unsatisfying answers sometimes. So you might get answers like these. Okay. Also, if you're done with the worksheet, the answers are up there again. Just let me know if there's any corrections.